back to Fixing It Up with Sandra. In case you're new here, I'm Sandra. And today, as promised, we're going to continue on with this candle journey. I'm going to give you guys some more information, and this is for those people that are starting out and just like me, not exactly sure where to go, what direction to go in. And it's kind of like the I was gonna do 5, but I've got 7 topics down here that I just want to touch on, and then I will go in depth with them in a later tutorial. This is not a tutorial, it's a video, but I will go further into them. I just want to kind of give you like the direction to possibly go into. I do want to say that this is all just information that I have found useful, or I would think that is helpful. But of course, make your own decisions, do what works best for you in your environment and all of those things. So just make sure that you're taking everything, I'll say with a grain of salt, and then just do your own research. But I want to give you some stuff that I have personally learned over the years, and that has helped me to be successful with my candle business. So the first thing that I want to say, and I am so guilty of doing this when I first started out because I didn't know where to start out, is do not order your stuff off of Amazon. Meaning, don't order your wicks or your supplies off of Amazon unless they are from a direct candle supplier company. Because when I first started out, I was buying wax that was on Amazon, thinking that I was getting like this really good price. I was ordering wicks off of Amazon, and then when I really started to research, like, what am I actually doing? Like, because candle making can seem super fun and easy, like kind of like making cookies. And then when you start really breaking it down, it is a science. It's not almost a science, it is a science. If you want a correct candle, if you want a safe candle, if you want everything to be like top notch, it's really a science. And so just for example, like I was ordering wicks off of Amazon, and not to throw this brand under the bus or anything like that, my candles did perform well for me. But if I was going to sell this to someone, I would much rather prefer to get it from a candle company. That way I could say 1000% this candle is going to perform to the highest quality, and it is a safe candle. So let me just put that out there. But I did buy these wicks from Amazon, and I've had them for quite some time. I can roughly tell, because I've been doing candles or making candles for so long, roughly like what size this is. But as you can see, like, there's no size on here, like how on here, this is from the Flaming Candle. This has the Eco 16. So like when you go to research what wick this is, because that does determine, like, the wick is a huge factor in candle making, and you will realize that the minute you start, if you're doing your research. But you're not going to know what wick this is, because I bought this wick and then I was like, oh my gosh, what size is it? What is this? How does it perform? Like, what kind of container does it work well with? And I couldn't find that information anywhere. So it was a lot of a guessing game and doing a lot of testing, which kind of wasted money. So just be aware of when you are purchasing product off of Amazon. I know it seems like a great deal because if you have Prime, then the shipping is free, for the most part free, I say. But you just want to make sure that you're buying quality product that like how it can be used in your candle making. But like I said, I make myself candles with these wicks because I'm not selling them. So I feel comfortable using them myself because I've used them for so long. But when I'm gonna sell to the public, I would much rather have something that I know exactly what it is, how it's gonna perform, and what kind of container it goes in. So, and that goes for wax as well. Make sure that you're doing your research and that you're reading the descriptions, read how people have used this wax. 9 times out of 10, it's way more expensive on Amazon, even though you think you're getting a screaming deal. There are candle kits that you can buy within like candle supply companies where it's still a really good deal as opposed to buying something off of Amazon where you may or may not know exactly what you're getting. So I just want to put that out there because I did buy my wax from Amazon. I did buy my wicks from Amazon. And then when I really started to like get down into it, I'm like, well, wait a minute, what do I have? Like this stuff from Amazon has no information. So I just want to say that. And then another thing, when I was starting out, I would go to like all of these different candle companies, these fragrance, and buy their fragrance oils. And I had in my head, I think a lot of people do when they're starting out, it's 1 ounce of fragrance oil to 1 pound of wax, which is completely untrue. So I, of course, stocked up on a bunch of these little 1 ounce things. And I know that in your mind, because these generally run about $2.50, $3, I haven't really bought any in quite some time. You think, well, I'm not really spending a whole lot of money. I want to first sample what fragrance, like, is this like a company that I want to like really invest in when it comes to buying the bigger size? I have a million of these. Now, I'm not saying don't buy these. Definitely check out a candle company, buy a few of these, maybe like a sample pack that they might have. Some fragrance companies do that, like Aztec, like you can buy like a holiday fragrance set, but this is generally way more expensive than buying this. If you look at the price per ounce, these are actually not budget friendly. They are great to kind of get to know, like, is this the company that I want to like use or whatnot? Because I did buy a bunch of samples from one company that I'm glad I never bought anything big. But just don't overdo it like I did. Like I was like, that's all I was buying was like the 1 ounce samples because I was like 1 ounce to 1 pound. This is like where it's at. So wrong, so wrong. And so, and usually when you are buying from like Candle Science or other candle companies, they allow you to pick a free sample. And so that's how I'm like, okay. And again, now that I'm further along in my career, I get the free sample of the fragrance and I'm like, I wonder what that smells like instead of just purchasing the 1 ounce. But when you're starting out, definitely do that because there's going to be some candle companies that you're like, this is just not for me. This is like not working. But just don't overdo it because this really doesn't this makes a small candle. That's it. But they are fun to have and you can blend them together with other fragrance oils and then create your own scent. So again, just be forewarned. Another thing, research your wax. Make sure that you know exactly what kind of wax is gonna work for you in the environment that you are in. Meaning, I live in a place where I can use a softer container wax. I still am only doing container. I have not branched out to pillars, but I use a flaky, just the standard that everybody uses, the 464. I haven't done any blends. I am perfectly happy with my 464 golden brand, I believe it is. Although in the warmer temperatures, I use a 444 wax. So definitely research your wax before you just jump on the bandwagon and was like, I've heard everybody's using this wax. Let me go ahead and order it. Because as we know, in the pandemic, wax has gone up so much, so much. And a lot of companies are no longer producing the wax that some of us absolutely love, like the TW30. I've been getting messages because people are watching some of my wax melt tutorials and they're like, the TW30 that I would get from California Candle Supply is no longer available and there's not even a date when it will become available. So that just pains me to say. So I now am doing research on, okay, thankfully I do have a bunch of wax. I was lucky enough to be able to purchase enough wax about 2 months ago for a while, but I'm still researching waxes right now because it is a thing. I do not want to buy a wax that is not going to perform well and that is not even something that I want to use. So I've been doing a lot of research, but just 1000% research your wax because there are so many different types of wax. When I did I taught people how to make candles a few months ago, and I want to say when I researched it, there was about 8 different types of wax, and that's not even the blends that can be created. That was just a couple of them. So there is a bunch of wax, and again, because of the price, you just want to research. If you live in an area where it's hot all the time, you're not gonna wanna use the 444 because it's a softer wax. You're gonna wanna use the 444. So that's just something that you really need to be mindful of. Watch more than just my YouTube tutorial, watch other videos, candle supply companies, and I'll put a few of them that I use in the description box below. And then if you're going to be making pillars, what else? Like the fancy candles that have like, you know, like the food style candles, like the cupcakes and whatnot, you're gonna want a harder wax. If you're gonna make wax melts, you're gonna wanna have a different wax. So just pick the wax that works for you. Like I said, when I was starting out, I was like, oh, everybody's using this 464, I have to have it. After I realized that Amazon was not where it was at to buy my wax. And I wish I would have done a little bit more research because maybe that wouldn't have been the wax that I immediately went to. But it is now something that I have just fallen in love with a lot of trial and error. But now I'm going to start branching out because of the supply factor. I'm going to have to start branching out and kind of, you know, playing around with different waxes and seeing what else is out there that I could, if need be, substitute. Another thing, you don't need all of the fancy equipment that you are seeing on some videos, tutorials, websites, and whatnot. And I know so many people are going to be like, oh my God, I cannot believe she is saying that. But I have learned that you can still create a beautiful candle, still have safe, oh my goodness, you can still have the safe tools that you need. You just don't have to spend an arm and a leg. And I will show you one thing that I found. This has been a game changer for me. And again, all of these topics that I'm going over, I will go in more depth with each tutorial. Like the next tutorial will be focused on like one thing. I just want to throw this out there. So there are these metal pouring containers. Now, those you gotta have. Like you gotta at least invest in 2, maybe 3. But if you're someone like me who has several fragrances that I offer, it can be really pricey because I either end up using a million paper towels to clean out my metal containers over and over and over again, or I risk I don't want any, like, I say cross-contamination even though we're dealing with waxes, but like sometimes there's like that leftover fragrance in your container and it might taint your new one. Not saying that always happens, but I was like, there's gotta be a better way. So lo and behold, I have found these little things, these measuring cups that you can, or measuring mixing bowls, that's what they're called, mixing bowls, from the Dollar Tree. Now, I offer over 20 fragrances when it comes to candles because I've been doing this for so long that I feel comfortable offering that many fragrances. But I have one now for each and every fragrance, and I never have to worry about cleaning these out. So these are now $1.25, but they were $1 when I was purchasing them. So I spent $1 as opposed to, you know, the $7, the $20 that one can cost. This holds up quite a bit. It holds it holds about 1,500 grams. If I stand correct, I want to say about 1,500 grams. And so I'm able to pour like 5 candles out of this. But I never have to worry about cross-contamination with my fragrances. I never have to worry about cleaning with all those paper towels. So you can see where the savings is, right? So I realized that yes, I do have 4 metal pouring pitchers for my candles. But for the most part, I use these, and these are $1.25, depending on where you're at. I don't know if your Dollar Tree has gone up that extra quarter, but you don't need all of the fancy containers that you see. There are some people that are showing you like the already done, the Presto pot with the pour spout, and they're like, I want to say that I've seen them run between like $60 to $70. If you buy, and here's the thing, go to your local thrift store. And I know I could be shot for this whole telling y'all don't pay all this money. And I'm just making a joke, but you can go to your local thrift store and look for the electric, pots or whatever. I have seen them at my thrift stores more than once, and you can buy the spout online on Amazon. Way cheaper. I think the spout is probably about like $8, $9. And then if you have someone that could just drill you the hole, which I'm hoping that everybody has that one person that is in their life that's like, hey, I have a tool that could do that. But you can actually create that whole, what is it? Not the Instapot, but the melting pot that you see selling for $70. You can actually do that whole thing. I did my own Presto pot for less than $30 if you have to buy it brand new. I'm just saying, because you can actually buy the spout on Amazon. Check your local thrift stores, yard sales, ask a friend, anybody not using the Presto pot. Believe me, it is a game changer. You don't have to spend all the money to start your candle business, because once you start it, you're gonna realize just how expensive this craft really is. So again, there'll be a video dedicated to all of the ways that I saved money on equipment and things that I use that are just as great, if not better, than the ones that you have to buy directly from a candle company or Amazon. So just do a little research. I'm gonna say this because this is the one thing, and I've done tutorials. It is like I have preached about this. Before you ever get started, you have to really understand why you're doing this. Is this something that you're simply wanting to do for the fun of it? Are you just wanting to give away candles? Or is this a business? Is this something that you really want to make money at? And if so, if this is something, and for most people, this is like a business, people want to go into this making money, you 1000% need to know your worth. And I know people will argue, well, that just seems expensive, or that just seems like, too much, or people won't buy it if I sell it for this. I see so many people in my community, just everywhere, underselling their product. I cannot believe, because let me take that back. There are so many people out there that are selling a product that they are not getting their full money's worth. And I mean that, and I have a tutorial on breaking down the cost of a candle, which I'll probably redo because I'm redoing all of these videos anyways. People will have a candle and they're like, okay, it cost me, $5.75 to make. And they're like, great, I'll sell it for $7. And that's it. Or they sell it for $5. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you are never going to get ahead, ever, by doing that. And, and then people are like, well, I can't, up the charge because, so-and-so wants it at this price, and I just don't feel that it's gonna sell. And you know what? If you are not really taking every product, you need to 1000% create a spreadsheet and take everything that you're buying like this. If this was $20, you need to break this bad boy down into price per gram, and then figure out how many grams you're using for that candle, and then figure out the price for that candle, just for the fragrance oil alone. That's what you need to be doing with every single product that you are putting into your candle. And you need to be including shipping costs, paying yourself, all the things. Like I said, I have a tutorial already on that. I'm gonna be revising it because there's so much more that you guys need to know. But know your worth. If you are getting into this to make people happy and undersell yourself and think that nobody's gonna pay that, whatever it is that you think, all of those, things that we say to ourselves sometimes when we're, doing handcrafted products, if you are not 1000% firm that you are going to go into this making money and come out on top and actually make a profit, don't even start this business, because this, like I said, this can be a pretty expensive business or even a hobby. And if you are just giving it away, you're going to be on that hamster wheel where you're thinking that you're making money, and when you go to like really break it down, you're gonna be like, oh goodness, like I'm in debt. So know your worth 1000%. Not only do I have a tutorial on how to break down the cost of a candle, but so many people out there do, which I think is probably the number one thing that you should be researching before you even start. So know your worth 1000%, and start small. I did say that I have about 20 different fragrances in my line, but you don't need to do that. When you start out making a candle, start with like 3 signature fragrances. Really master those, really get it, like figure out how to do a candle and really make it work for you. And then start adding to your collection. Whether it be if you want to do wax melts or whatever it is, candles, container candles, whatever, make sure that you start small, because there is far more to candle making than meets the eye. And that's what happened to me. And I was like, oh my goodness, I totally bit off way more than I can chew. I wish somebody would have told me, start super, super small. So I'm telling you now. So again, just know your worth. Start out small. Research your wax. You don't need all that fancy equipment. Be careful what you purchase on Amazon. And last but not least, I'm just gonna say it a couple times, find suppliers, and multiple ones, that, because we are in the middle of a pandemic, that you can find same or if not similar products for what you're using, because you need to have a backup for your backup, because that's just how it's, how the cookie's crumbling right now. So anyways, I hope this was a little bit helpful for you, if not a lot helpful. These are just some of the things that I was like, I don't know where to go. Where do I start? Oh my goodness. So anyways, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. I'm going to be doing, like I said, my next tutorial will probably be on fragrance oils, because that is where my heart is. Candle making is all about the fragrance oil. So anyways, look for that, and stay safe and well. I will see you in my next tutorial. Please hit the subscribe button, and if you want to see more candle tutorials, you have to give this video a thumbs up. I know so many people have been asking about candle tutorials, and I am delivering them step by step. So I know you're going like, oh God, please, let's get to the good stuff. But you need all of this in order to get there. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon.